Tonight, our speaker has flown all the way from Phoenix, Arizona to speak to us. Let's give her a hand for that. For flying here. I have had the pleasure of getting to know Tina and her partner in the last few days, and it's been amazing. Tina is so passionate about helping others, and the topic she's going to present tonight it's really, her story's amazing, and you're just going to love Tina. Tina French.
So hi, I'm Tina French, and I am the founder of VJUV, and the reason that VJUV exists is because I had a medical condition that doctors couldn't figure out for about 8 years. So this is what we lovingly call the alien. So I had a cyst the size of a 6-month-old baby from the time I was 48 years old until I was 55, which made me completely incontinent. You shouldn't be pregnant that long, okay? So I had that cyst, and because it was a cyst and not a tumor, you know, you're just fat. Take an antidepressant, you'll be fine. So it made me completely incontinent. Eventually it was, you know, figured out, but nothing bounces back at 55 years old. So I was full-time diapers, couldn't leave the house, couldn't go to work, completely devastated. And so, you know, got the alien removed, nothing changed except for, you know, my waist went down a bit. But I found the Incella chair, which is that chair up there. My real career is I do commercial property inspections and I write environmental reports, so I do research for a living. So therefore, when I became incontinent, I can tell you everything they do in the entire world for incontinence. And most of it is horrible and barbaric. And there's bladder sling surgery. That is no longer FDA approved, but it had about a 35% success rate. And you have to do it multiple times. It's only good for about 5 years. There is Botox in the bladder for the ladies. They save the good stuff for you, where they shoot a needle in your bladder with Botox, and you scream when you pee for about 48 hours, and it just wholly awful also. They also have the drug, which just dehydrates you. That's just so you don't have to go pee. Now, even since the chair, there's another one that's even better than the rest, which is a pacemaker now for your bladder. So they, you know, slice you open in the back and they shove a pacemaker in and they put wires in your bladder so that it can shock you to pee. So none of them I thought was very good. But I came upon this chair, which is electromagnetic, and what it does is it contracts your muscles for you. So it's going to strengthen up your pelvic floor, which is where your bladder hangs from. It strengthens it back up because as we age, it starts sagging down, the bladder starts sagging down. As it gets closer to the door, things escape. Okay, men get up in the middle of the night to pee, women get up in the middle of the night to pee, women cross their legs when they sneeze. You know, you wear a pad gets thicker, you know, all of those things. So what this is going to do is it strengthens all of your muscles. It does a Kegel for you, about 500 times stronger than you could do a Kegel, and it's going to strengthen everything back up. And you know, everything has a side effect. This one has good side effects. So for women, the side effect is it structurally strengthens and tightens the walls, and stronger orgasms and more control. And for the gentleman, aside from sleeping through the night, it puts more blood flow in what gets it up and keeps it up. So they're kind of fans of that. But it is you know, just strengthening up everything back to our youth. And like I said, I have a different business. This wasn't my business. But when I became unincontinent and was back to normal, I realized nobody talks about it. You know, it's this dirty little secret that, you know, it's only the old dying person in a nursing home. It's 85% of all of us at every age. You're not alone. I decided somebody had to talk about it. It was going to be me. I used to pee. I used to wear a diaper. I don't anymore. okay? There's choices and options for people. I think everybody's an adult and can make their own decisions. So this is not a sales pitch. I have 5 locations, 4 in Arizona, 1 in the Villages. We're the only ones who take insurance. If you have Medicare and a supplement, it's 100% free to you. There's 5 other of these chairs in the Villages. They all take cash and charge you and blah, blah, blah. But I've tried to make it affordable because I was suicidal over it, and I believe it's a medical condition and that you shouldn't have to pay for it. It's your God-given right to have dignity and not have to pee on yourself, you know? And so we give a free treatment. You can come in, see what you think about it, understand it, find out if your insurance covers it, and make a decision. We'll never even call you. Just to find out what it is and what your options are, because you don't have to suffer through it anymore. There's multiple ways to get better. This is just one of them. The other ones are kind of gross, but there are other options. That's, like I said, it's the difference in that we accept the insurance. And all you do is sit on it. You can be fully clothed. We do suggest when you come in, it's a private room by yourself, that we put a little pad down, you can cover with sheet because it's stronger that way. But that's all it is. It's just a chair. And it's electromagnetic technology. And I joke that I can do a parlor trick, so if y'all come to our party tomorrow, I can put your hand on the chair and it will close your hand. And that's how it's exercising all of that. It's just contracting at 11,200 super Kegels, stronger than you can physically do a Kegel. And it is, like I said, for men and women. I have many clients, hundreds and hundreds of clients. I have a gentleman, I have many of them, but I have one in particular, 5 years post-prostate surgery, severe leakage, no sexual function since his prostate surgery 5 years ago. We got his leakage down about 70 to 80%, and we got 100% of his sexual function back because it's putting blood flow on the on-ramp to the freeway. And, you know, it doesn't matter what's on the freeway if the on-ramp's not going there. So, you know, very happy, you know, people to get their lives back. And it's 95% satisfaction rating. And so, like I said, the bladder sling was like 30%, 33%, and it's no longer FDA approved. This is FDA approved and Medicare approved, and Medicare pays for it. You can remain fully clothed, it's non-invasive, and you walk in and you walk out. Like I said, you don't have to worry about where the bathroom is anymore, you don't have to wear pads, diapers, it's gonna get you there, you get to sleep through the night, and everybody likes better sex. I guess I've said most of this already. And Kegels aren't just for women. It turns out men should have been doing them all along. The bladder actually puts pressure on the prostate, cuts off blood flow, and that's some of the issues that it causes. So it does help greatly. Men pre-prostate surgery, after prostate surgery. I have guys that have done radiation. It just helps, you know, keep alive. There's multiple kinds of incontinence. There is the rush and you can't wear the belt anymore because you can't get off in time to go pee. There is urge where, oh my God, I gotta go right this second. And then there's mixed, you know. And so, you know, as we, you know, ladies have had children and stuff like that, you know, it's like, oh, you're supposed to exercise. Okay, here's a woman who's after childbirth doing a jumping jack. Because you're not gonna jump up and down, you know. Well, guess what? I'm 60 years old and I can chase my grandson at full speed on his bicycle, you know, without peeing all the way. So when I had my issue, it was controllable to a point, and then the neighbor across the street had a fire in her house in the middle of the night, and my husband yelled for me to get up, and I ran across the street in my robe to get her out of the house, and I had the alien at the time, and it popped the final cork, and I peed all the way across the street, and I never stopped peeing. If I drank, it came out. Because nothing, like that running, stopped the last thing, so it went from being somewhat controllable to absolutely not controllable, which was completely devastating, and which is why I've chosen to talk about it, because everybody feels isolated. Everybody feels like they're the only one. It's natural, it's a muscle, we can strengthen it up, we can get our life and get our dignity back, and not have to look for the freaking bathroom everywhere we go. It isn't just us. I thought it was just me, So, here's the science behind it, and this is what it does. You sit on it, and it will contract the muscles. And you can feel it. When you're sitting on it, you can actually feel it. So it's strengthening it all back up. And it actually lifts it up. Say before and after, it's just getting it so that you're not having an issue. And it just helps with the leakage for men and women. And so when you sit on it, you can feel, it's about that big around, about the size of a tennis ball, and you move around until you hit the right spot. And you want it right on the perineum, and you can feel it exercising. So everybody's got the same pelvic floor, and see, there's a Kegel, so everybody tells you, oh, do a Kegel. Well, if you can figure out how to do a Kegel, you're doing it with your muscle, this is doing a Kegel, So actually, once you're done, then you actually can do a real Kegel. And it's a minimum of 6 treatments to create muscle memory, but depending on age and issue, how many treatments you'll take to get to where you need to be. And then you can either do Kegels with the muscles that you've been given, or do maintenance, which is like one time after you've got your muscle memory and you're to where you need to be, one time every few months or whatever, and you just will never have to go back. And like I said, here's all your fun stuff. There's Botox, there's the surgery, there's that implant, there's a laser, and there's other stuff. I had a lady call me the other day and ask me if she could sit on the chair because she already had the implant put in, but you can't if you have a pacemaker, whether it's in the heart or whether it's in the bladder. We can't do it with wires down here or whatever. And this lady said she had a pacemaker for her heart and a pacemaker for her bladder. And I said, you're kind of the bionic woman. And she said, yep, I think when they bury me, parts will still be alive. But she had and she had the pacemaker for the bladder, whatever, and she's literally, I'm keeping track. It's been about 6 months that they have been doing it. She's the 13th person that's called me, said she hated it, she's miserable, it didn't work, or it made it worse. So I don't know, maybe happy people don't call me that have the pacemaker implant, but it sounds kind of gross and horrible. So, for me, not an option. I wasn't willing to do anything like that. And here's a bunch of frequently asked questions, or you can ask your own. No, you don't have to purchase the chair. That's always the first question. It looks like a space toilet. It doesn't go with your decor. We're located on 44 next to Broadwood Suites, and you come in for a 28-minute session privately and sit on the chair. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Yes. She's had the sling surgery. So
Didn't
she
work.
could, yeah.
Of course not.
Can she
Yes.
still do this?
you can do the bladder sling. After you've done the bladder sling surgery, we've had many, many patients, and you get better. So yeah, all that didn't work, but all that is a mesh that they tack to the bottom of your bladder, which then, or your pelvic floor, I'm sorry, but your pelvic floor, and so now you've added weight, it just sags faster. And so I've had women that have had 8, 10 surgeries or whatever. Yes, you can do it. I've had multiple people be able to cancel their bladder sling surgeries. They found out about this and said, well, I have surgery, in a month and a half, and then they've been able to. We can't guarantee anything, but I've had multiple people with prolapses that have had to wear pessaries. I mean, I'm not gonna put it back where it used to be, but they've been able to stop wearing their pessaries, which is a plastic device like a diaphragm that, keeps it inside and moist because you can't have inner body parts hanging out. And so I've had multiple people be able to, get that, because that's devastating, and then you can't leave the house, you can't go anywhere, and it's all about getting your life back. So, yeah, it's after the bladder sling surgery, absolutely, and you won't have to go back for it.
And how can you get product for the surgery?
Oh, you had that thing? Did they take it out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It didn't work.
There you go. 14. We're up to 14. Okay? Yeah, that's just, and for me, that kind of freaks me out because you don't have a door back there with a cupboard. So they're going to be crushing stuff. You know what I mean? And making pinched nerves, and to me, it just seems like wholly awful. You know what I mean? So it was, okay. See, and that's worth more money though. That was what, $40,000, $50,000? Yeah, see, they don't really want this because, and which is why nobody takes insurance, is because it doesn't pay that much, okay? But it works. But it works, it's amazing, and so not all insurances cover it. We're trying to get a network with a bunch of them. Regular Medicare and a supplement, no questions asked, 100% covers it. We're in network with a couple other ones. We're trying to get in the rest of them. But we also are totally different from any other company, because it's me, I am the company. And these are my sidekicks. Look, we've got Bonnie, we've got Kate, Jackie, Mary. But anyways, I have, like I said, I have 5 locations. They're all run by prior patients that had changed their lives. Nobody gets paid unless they're sitting on the chair. And we're in executive suites, so there's no tenant improvement, build out, expense, whatever. So I have created it so that it's sustainable to be able for people to afford it, and not, because everybody else gets $300 to $800 per treatment. Insurance is gonna pay me $110. If you don't have insurance, it's $100 a treatment. And best I can do. But anyways, the chair is $180,000. And so they're really trying to, make their money. My first chair I bought with my retirement fund so that I could go back to work. I had no intention of starting a business. I own a company. I just couldn't leave for work anymore, and I'm obviously the yapping head of the company. And so, but once it cured me and I was able to talk about it, I kind of feel like this is the reason I was saved, and I talk about it. I don't care if any of you come to my business, I just want you to know what your options are so that nobody hacks you apart and you go, damn, I'd have done that first. You know what I mean? It really, truly is, for me, my passion, and it is about just getting information out there. I think you're all grown-ups and you can make an adult decision. You should be able to see it, touch it, feel it, understand it, and decide what it is you want to do, and not be restricted with the last thing somebody else studied and you don't know. So that is all of your choices right now, is the implant, which we've heard sucked. The bladder sling surgery, not fun either. You're 2 for 2. You don't like this, babe. This is cool, because it doesn't hurt. But and then the drug, which is linked to Alzheimer's because it dehydrates you, and the Botox. I did not do any of those, by the way. The Botox, I was told the story of the Botox where she said you scream when they shoot the Novocaine, you don't scream when they shoot the Botox, you scream when you pee every, for 24 to 48 hours, and it works or doesn't work. So, I've taken people who had to pee every 20 minutes, 24 hours a day to being normal life. You know, she was a 911 operator, and she did Botox twice. First time it worked 4 months, second time it worked 24 hours. And she got taken aside at work and asked if she was on drugs, because she kept running to the bathroom every 20 minutes. She goes, that's the conversation you want to have with some jerk at work. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, and she's able to be normal. She's my miracle baby. I joke, you're not going to notice anything. And you'll notice what it does, but it's not going to cure you one treatment or whatever. But she got an hour and 45-minute car ride after one treatment. She was my miracle baby. But that's because she was, ridiculous with the 20 minutes or 24 hours a day. But, you can, understand it and see what it does, But like I said, you can't do it with a pacemaker that keeps you alive. I do have a couple men that have pacemakers for Parkinson's. They shut them off, they can do it. You just can't do it in this pacemaker and keep you alive. Yes?
So you said it's a 28-minute session. How many sessions do you use?
It's a minimum of 6. We do 10 treatments for 1,000 or whatever, but it's, we suggest that you do them close together, like 2 or 3 times a week. Because it's like we're taking all that to the gym. And so, if you went to the gym once a week, what's gonna happen? So like at least the first 6 treatments we wanna do pretty close together, because we're gonna build on it, and you'll notice by 3 or 4 treatments, you'll get up one less night. If you get up in the middle of XP, you'll get up at least one less time. Yeah. But you're oh my God, I gotta get there. You're gonna be a slow ride. We'll get your insurance to cover it, and you're probably gonna take a few, but you'll notice. You will notice, you'll feel that it's changing something. It's not gonna do that, but it's gonna, it didn't take, I tell everybody, it didn't happen overnight. It's not gonna, and that's how, we can't say how many treatments, because, it's age and issue and blah, 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 and everything like that. I mean, I personally believe that if every woman sat on this 8 weeks after having a baby and put it back with them young, healthy muscles, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You know what I mean? But now we're all swimming back upstream. I never heard of a Kegel until, and then it was way out, I'm in diapers at Kegeling because it's slowed up and down, So, yeah, my kids are 34 and 38, and so that was the generation that no one mentioned a Kegel. So I didn't hear a Kegel until, but did they mention Kegels? I never heard of a Kegel.
No, but I've heard of Kegel since.
Yeah, too late, but yeah, okay, Yeah, any other questions?
So once you have it done, you say you have 8 treatments, then is there maintenance that,
Yeah, so we're gonna give you muscles, and she was asking how many treatments after you've done all your treatments. So you wanna get to your point where you're happy, and you're like, get what you're gonna get, and then you can we've given you muscles. So you can either diligently do your Kegels, because now you're gonna have muscles. None of us really do, but maintenance is one time. And it can be once a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months, you'll know. So you'll never think of it again, and one day you'll go, oh, I should go back. You don't leak or have, you know what I mean? But all of a sudden you go, oh, I remember. And you go back one time and you go, I don't have to think about it again. Yeah, so it's muscle memory. Couple people do Kegels. We all got in this problem because we didn't. Yes.
You have an MRI safe defibrillator.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do it?
Yes. If it's this is the technology of an MRI. So if you're allowed to do an MRI, you can do this, unless it is down here and there's wires down where we're doing it. But if it's up here somewhere and it's MRI safe, yes.
how many chairs or whatever do you have? How hard is it to get in?
Oh, we have 1 chair here currently. If we get too busy, we'll get another. I have 4 in Arizona. I have 4 locations in Arizona, but now we'll get you in. Look, I got a whole team. Yeah, now we'll get you in. Well, you guys have some weird insurance down here. Oh, you have Medicare supplement? Nope, you're grown up and you can decide and you can come in. It's the Advantage plans that are weird. and then some of them require whatever. Medicare does not. And if you get up once at night to pee, or you cross your legs to sneeze, that's incontinence and it's covered. So it isn't you don't have to, but, cause this is gonna save them a fortune, So yeah, Medicare just covers it. It's the other ones that are weird.
I heard, of course, I'm aware of Kegels, but when you say men should be doing Kegels, do you mean stopping and starting a stream, or is it a different type of thing?
Well, they mean that they should be strengthening the pelvic floor too, and most men don't even know how to do a Kegel, but it turns out that they always should have been, and so it's one of those, oh, that's why they all got problems.
You
So,
don't know how, I don't know.
how they do a Kegel, I don't.
How I do one.
I've never figured it out, I just sit on the chair, so I still don't know how to do a Kegel, but I have chairs. But yeah, so for men, they sit, it's in the middle of the chair, and they sit right behind the boys where it is, so the perineum. And that gets what they need or whatever, but yeah, I wouldn't know how to tell a guy to do a Kegel. I never knew how to do a Kegel. I'm not sure I still do. Okay, now I do. Any other questions?
Let's give Tina a big round of applause.